Oh, hello there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to story time. Yes, is this? Yes, it is this microphone. Oh, maybe not that one as well, though. Curious. If I turn it up. Yes, that one's working too. Good. Good, good, good. I guess then that means I should perhaps play some music for you. Some dark, scary music, because we're going to be listening to Goosebumps, scary stories. And here it starts, the music. And we wait for others to arrive. And while we do, we set some mood. I need my sugar cookie biscuit, frosted sugar cookie candle, okay? It's just something I need for this mood. And my, is it pleasant. That music is a little loud, I'll turn it down just a tad. You're right, it is creepier in the dark, and I will fix that problem momentarily. First, though, I must get these candles lit, because, we're currently in the bright, and the dark is a little too dark for reading if I don't have candles with which to read. Right, come on. So the wick on this one is just stuck in the wax, and I need to get it out of that high enough. There we go, that it can burn. Yes, perhaps that will do it. Let's see here. Yes, that should do it. That should do quite well. All right. There we are. That one's lit. Not very well, but it's lit. Let's see how this next one does. No. Here it is. Oh yes, there's more wick on this one. It should be quite good. Aha. Yes. Quite good indeed. I love this fan, but I will turn it off because it's a little too strong for these flames. Oh dear. It's dark and scary again. Whatever shall we do? Hello, once again. I'm back. I have returned. And it is time for story time. That's right. We are going to tell some stories in the dark. Scary ones. Actually, only one scary one. Goosebumps, the Haunted Mask. So, once again, I am Brett Picorni, and I'd like to welcome you and thank you for being here. Yes, thank you very much. So, Crystal, you get the first shout-out of the night. Huzzah! Thank you for being here. Anyway, Brett Picorni, you can find me on Facebook if you would like. Pretty easy to find. Plus, let's see here. My group on Facebook, Storytime, 2 words, exclamation point at the end. Then there's YouTube, B Picorni1. Also fairly easy to find, I think. I think it is. Regardless, find me. Like this video, hit subscribe, make sure you share it with your friends, and comment. Please, please, please comment. Leave comments galore. I would love to have your comments because I love being able to talk to you and give you shout-outs. Regardless, either way, most important being like this video. And if you feel comfortable, share it with your friends. That would be wonderful. That would be great. I would really appreciate it if you would do that. Either way, I see Carla has joined us. Huzzah, Carla, and Nick is there too. Huzzah, Nicholas! Thank you, both of you, for being here, watching. It does mean so much to me. It really does. Anyway, luckily it is Goosebumps tonight. I only read 2 chapters of that night, and they're very short because, well, they're Goosebumps. Um, and I do have things I need to take care of tonight, and I don't want to get to bed too late. So it's a lucky thing that tonight is Goosebumps. Regardless, I think we should get started. Oh, the final mention is for Twitch. Brett doesn't game all one word, no apostrophes or anything like that. Without further ado, though, shall we get started? Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask, starting with chapter 13. Carly Beth froze in the doorway. She could hear her mother's footsteps approaching in the hallway. "Let me see you, dear," Mrs. Colbert called. "Did the costume fit?" Maybe I should have told her about my change of plans, Carly Beth thought guiltily. I would have said something, but I didn't want to hurt Mom's feelings. Now she's in for a shock, and she's going to be really angry when she sees I've borrowed her sculpture. She's going to make me put it back on the mantel. She's going to ruin everything. "I'm kind of in a hurry, Mum," Carly Beth called, her voice deep and raspy inside the mask. I'll see you later, okay?" She pulled open the front door. Forgot about the raspy voice, so I'll do the deeper voice for Carly Beth from now on. "You can't wait 1 second while I see my costume on you," her mother called. She rounded the corner and came into view. "I'm sunk," Carly Beth thought with a groan. "I'm caught." The phone rang. The sound echoed loudly inside Carly Beth's mask. Her mother stopped and turned back to the kitchen. "Oh, darn, I'd better get that." "It's probably your father calling from Chicago." She disappeared back to the kitchen. "I'll have to see you later, Carly Beth. Be careful, okay?" Carly Beth breathed a sigh of relief. Saved by the bell, she thought. Balancing the head on the broomstick, she hurried out the door. She closed the door behind her and jogged down the front yard. It had become a clear, cool night. A pale half-moon rose low over the bare trees. Fat, brown leaves swirled around her ankles as she headed to the sidewalk. The plan was to meet Chuck and Steve in front of Sabrina's house. Carly Beth couldn't wait. Her head bobbed and bounced on the broomstick as she ran. The house on the corner had been decorated for Halloween. Orange light ran along the top of the stoop. 2 large smiling pumpkin cutouts stood beside the doorway. A cardboard skeleton had been propped up at the end of the front walk. Sorry, I have an itch on my back. Ooh, there it is. Nice. I love Halloween, Carly Beth thought happily. She crossed the street onto Sabrina's block. On other Halloween nights, she had been frightened. Her friends were always playing mean tricks on her. Last year, for instance, Steve had slipped a very real-looking rubber rat into her trick-or-treat bag. When Carly Beth had reached into the bag, she felt something soft and hairy. She pulled out the rat and shrieked at the top of her lungs. She was so scared she spilled her candy all over the driveway. Chuck and Steve thought it was a riot. So did Sabrina. They always spoiled Halloween for her. They thought it was so hilarious to scare Carly Beth and make her scream. That makes me think of one Halloween when all of my candy got spilled. Although it wasn't because I got scared or frightened or anything and dropped it. It was because my bag broke. Now, I was riding in a wagon with my brother, my parents pulling, and I yelled, stop, my candy, something along those lines. They're like, no, it's fine. I said, no, it all came out, the bag broke. And sure enough, it did. So we picked up as much as we could and carried on. That was near the end of the evening, too. Anyway, I wonder if my parents remember that one. If they remember that night or not. Either way, good times, yes. Well, this year I won't be the one screaming, she thought. This year I'll be the one making everyone else scream. Sabrina's house was at the end of the block. As Carly Beth hurried toward it, bare tree limbs shivered above her. The half-moon disappeared behind a heavy cloud and the ground darkened. The head on the broom handle bounced and nearly fell off. Carly Beth slowed her pace. She glanced up at the head, shifting her grip on the broomstick. The eyes on the sculpted head stared straight ahead as if watching out for trouble. In the darkness, the head looked real. Let me turn that music down a little bit more. In the darkness, the head looked real, the shadows moving over it as Carly Beth walked under the bare tree limbs made the eyes and mouth appear to move. Hearing laughter, Carly Beth turned. Across the street, a group of trick-or-treaters was invading a brightly lit front porch. In the yellow porch light, Carly Beth saw a ghost, a mutant ninja turtle, a Freddy Krueger, and a princess in a pink ball gown and a tinfoil crown. The kids were little. Two mothers watched them from the front of the driveway. Carly Beth watched them get their candy. Then she walked the rest of the way to Sabrina's house. She climbed the front stoop, stepping into a white triangle of light from the porch light. She could hear voices inside the house, Sabrina shouting something to her mother, a TV on in the living room. Carly Beth adjusted her mask with her free hand. She straightened the gaping, fanged mouth. Then she checked to make sure the head was balanced on the broomstick. She reached to ring Sabrina's doorbell, then stopped. Voices behind her. She turned and squinted into the darkness. Two costumed boys were approaching, shoving each other playfully on the sidewalk. Chuck and Steve. I'm just in time, Carly Beth thought happily. She leapt off the stoop and crouched behind a low, evergreen shrub. Okay, guys, she thought eagerly, her heart pounding. Get ready for a scare. And now we move on to chapter 14. Carly Beth peered over the top of the shrub. The two boys were halfway up the drive. It was too dark to get a good look at their costumes. One of them wore a long overcoat and a wide-brimmed Indiana Jones fedora. She couldn't really see the other one. Hi, Mum, see you've joined? Glad you're here. Huzzah! Carly Beth took a deep breath and prepared to leap out at them. She gripped the broomstick tightly. My whole body is trembling, she realized. The mask suddenly felt hot, as if her excitement had heated it up. Her breath rattled noisily in the flat nose. Yes, buzzing through Goosebumps. Also reminiscing walking down memory lane. I'll bring that memory up again to see if you'll remember. Walking slowly, playfully, blocking each other with their shoulders like football linemen, the boys made their way up the driveway. One of them said something Carly Beth couldn't hear. The other one laughed loudly, a high-pitched giggle. Anyway, the memory I was bringing up was the one year we were in Lemoore, and you were dragging me and Scott on the wagon. You and Dad were, and my bag broke and all the candy dropped out of it on the ground. And I told you guys we needed to stop because my candy fell, and you guys said, no, it didn't. And then I said, yes, it did. And we turned around, and sure enough, there it all was on the street. Some of it rolled over by the cart. I wonder if you remember that one. Probably. Anyway, moving forward. Peering into the darkness, Carly Beth watched them until they were nearly right in front of the shrub. Okay, now, she declared silently, raising the broomstick with its staring head on the top. She leapt out. The boys shrieked, startled. She could see their dark eyes go wide as they gaped at her mask. A ferocious roar escaped her throat, a deep rumbling howl that frightened even her. At the terrifying sound, both boys cried out again. One of them actually dropped to his knees on the driveway. They both stared up at the head, bobbing on the broomstick. It seemed to glare down at them. Another howl escaped Carly Beth's throat. It started low, as if coming from far away, and then pierced the air, raspy and deep, like the roar of an angry creature. No! One of the boys cried. Who are you? The other cried. Leave us alone! Carly Beth heard rapid footsteps crunching over the dead leaves on the driveway. Looking up, she saw a woman in a bulky down coat running up the drive. Hey, what are you doing? The woman demanded, her voice shrill and angry. Are you scaring my kids? Huh? Carly Beth swallowed hard. She turned her eyes back to the two frightened boys. Wait, she cried, realizing they weren't Chuck and Steve. What are you doing? The woman repeated breathlessly. She stepped up to the two boys and put a hand on each of their shoulders. Are you two okay? Yeah, we're okay, Mum, the one in the overcoat and fedora replied. The other boy wore white makeup and a red clown nose. She jumped out at us, he told his mother, avoiding Carly Beth's stare. She kind of scared us. The woman turned angrily to Carly Beth and shook her finger at her accusingly. Don't you have anything better to do than to scare two young boys? Why don't you pick on someone your own age? Normally, Carly Beth would have apologized. She would have explained to the woman that she made a mistake, that she meant to scare two different boys, but hidden behind the ugly mask, still hearing the strange howl that had burst so unexpectedly from her throat, she didn't feel like apologizing. "Go away!" she rasped, waving the broomstick menacingly. Her head, stared down at the two startled boys. "What did you say?" the mother demanded, her voice tight with growing outrage. "What did you say?" "I said, go away!" Carly Beth snarled in a voice so deep, so terrifying that it frightened even her. The woman crossed her arms in front of the heavy down coat. Her eyes narrowed at Carly Beth. "Who are you? What is your name?" she demanded. "Do you live around here?" "Mom, let's just go," the boy with the clown face urged, tugging at her coat sleeve. "Yeah, come on," his brother pleaded. "Go away, I'm warning you," Carly Beth growled. The woman stood her ground, her arms tightly crossed, her eyes narrowed at Carly Beth. "Just because it's Halloween doesn't give you the right." "Mom, we want to get some candy," the clown pleaded, tugging his mother's sleeve harder. "Come on." "We're wasting the whole night," his brother complained. Carly Beth was breathing hard, her voice escaping the mask in low, noisy grunts. "I sound like an animal," she thought, puzzled. "What is happening to me?" She could feel her anger growing. Her breathing rattled noisily in the tight mask. Her face felt burning hot. Her anger raged through her chest. Her entire body was trembling. Trembling. Meh. She felt about to burst. "I'm going to tear this woman apart," Carly Beth decided. Oh my. Oh my, indeed. But I'm afraid, dear friends, that is the end of chapter 14. That's 2 chapters, which means we will have to be resuming this story in 2 nights' time, Thursday night, with chapter 15. For now, we are done for the evening with Goosebumps and thus story time. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I look forward to resuming, Goosebumps on Thursday and story time tomorrow night, with some poetry. Who knows, maybe I'll play another song or two. Either way, we'll have fun. Looking to do it at probably around... I'll do it when I can. Tomorrow it might be a late one. Either late or very, very early. And when I say very early, I mean it could be around 6:30, somewhere around there. Otherwise, very late. So, yes. Night, everybody. Brett Picorni on Facebook. Storytime, 2 words, exclamation point at the end. YouTube, bpicorni1. Like, subscribe, share, comment. And Twitch, Brett Doesn't Game, all one word. Without further ado, I bid you adieu, and I thank you all for being here. Have a good night, and, I guess I'll see you around, eh? In the words of Crystal, later, Gator. Hey, you were supposed to go out, Candle.